Who do you want to send this email to?
Romeo.
What is the subject of your email?
Juliet is still alive.
Tell me the message you want to send in your email.
Romeo, Juliet is still alive. Do not take the potion. Do not drink it. She's still alive. You can have a happy ending.
Hey lazy ass. Your email has been sent. I wish I could program you to do things for me too. Do you want to send more emails?
No, I don't want to.
Okay. Goodbye lazy ass.
What's up, guys? Hope you all are doing great. As you saw in the intro, what we're building here is a nice automation system where we can actually send emails through Python. So all you need to do is run the Python code and you say whatever you need, and yeah, your email will be sent. You don't need to do anything else. It's going to be a nice project. And yeah, if you're new to the channel, please like, subscribe to the channel if you're new. And you know what? Let's get started. The first thing we'll need to do is, let me just show you the files I have. I have a project called email automation, and inside this project email automation I have two files. I have main and password.py. The reason I have this password.py is because yeah, I don't want to show my password, but for
my
you, you don't
username and all that.
necessarily
So
have
that's
to
why I
have
have
it. You can
password.py.
just place your password where I'll show you, but for me that's how I'm doing it. In this, I'm going to import all the information in password.py. I'll import it to main.py. Now what we'll do in main.py is we first need to actually import all the modules we'll use. The first module we're using is SMTP library, and this is just a nice library that actually makes us be able to send data. It's going to act more like the server for us. And after that, we'll also import, and after this, we'll also import speech recognition. Yeah, so I have speech recognition, and sometimes if it's not working and you're not able to actually install it properly, what you need to do is you just need to go to your settings. Right here, you click settings, you go to your project interpreter, and right here in this project interpreter, sometimes you'll see that it will have this. It's better you change it to your local. So your local, like this one right here, that is identical to mine right here, instead of the one that actually has your project name. It's better you put it on this one that doesn't have your project name. Yeah, just a quick note because I see a lot of people sometimes they have problem installing all these modules. And the next one is we'll import pytts3 sx3, and we'll also import, say, from email.message import email message. We'll have two imports. So right here you can see from email.message import email message. Yep, so we can see right now we have our modules. Now what we need to do next is we need to go to our email address, and in this case I'll be using Google Gmail, and Gmail has a lot of security, so we need to actually lessen the security so we can send emails through Python. So that's the next part. Okay guys, let me show you. Now guys, we're at our Gmail, and this Gmail needs to be the Gmail or the account that you're going to send the message from. What you do is you click on the account, you click on manage your Google account. When you get to this section right here, you click on security, and when you're in security, you just scroll down, and then you see this here, less secure app access. And what you need to do, you can see it's turned off. You need to turn it on. And you can see that Gmail or Google doesn't like us to do this because they actually want you to go to your website and do all the whole typing. Yeah, they want you to do all the boring stuff when you can automate it with Python. So yeah, we're smarter than that. So we're going to actually turn this on. And now that this is on, all we need to do is you need to get your email address and your email password. And what you do is right here in your password.py, and you don't have to do it this way, but this is the way I'm doing it. you say email name, and you set that equal to your email address, and you put it in a string format, and then you say email password, and you set that equal to your password, your email password. Now when you do that, now we can actually say from password, that's this file right here. I want you to import email password and also email name. So now we can use these two variables in our program. Now to import all these modules, down in the description, just check it. I'll leave a link where you go to a web page, and in that web page, you'll be able to copy the command. And when you copy the command, you just come here to your terminal and you paste all the command to make sure you have them installed. Now guys, that we have our modules installed and also imported, what we need to do next is we need to actually create a listen variable. So we just call this listen or listener, because we need a listener to actually listen to our instructions. And then say sr.recognizer, and also we'll create an engine. We'll say engine is equal to pi ttsx3.init. Now the first function we're going to create is def talk. That's our function for talking. So we'll put text as its input, and then we'll say engine dot say. So what we're telling it is whatever we put in this text, we want you to say it. And then we'll say engine dot run and wait. Now this talk function we just created, whatever string we put inside as its input, you will see that your computer is actually going to say it. It's going to talk. So we can try it right here. We'll just put here, I love bacon. And if you run the computer right now, go to your terminal, you say main.py. You can see now for sure your computer said I love bacon. So probably you don't hear it because I'm using headphones on, but try it yourself and you see it will say what I just said. It's going to do exactly what I said. So now we have our computer talking. What we need to do next is that we need to be able to get information. So our computer is going to actually print that it's listening. We could also make it say it that, oh, I'm listening, but I think it's better for it to just print it. So the next function is going to be the get information, or we just call it get info. And in this function, we're going to use a try and accept. And then we'll say try with, and this is just the better way of handling. We'll say sr dot microphone. So you better use your microphone for this. It's just better with microphone as source. So this is the source. Our microphone is our source. And then we'll print listening, so that I will print it as a string. We'll print listening so that you will know when your computer is listening. So now when your computer is listening, this is the time you actually should talk. Just change it to single string. Doesn't really matter, but I prefer the single string. Now we'll create a variable called voice. Now this voice, we're going to set it to listener dot listen, and it's going to listen to source. Now we also have info, and this info will say is equal to listener dot recognize Google, and it's going to recognize the voice. Now what I also want us to do is I want us to print the info, so you actually see it in text and you hear it too. So it's going to print the info, and when it prints the info, what we want to do is we want to return info. So info dot lower, and this lower is just to make it lowercase. Now that we have this, we need to create the accept, and the accept we're just going to put pass because we don't want it to do anything. If this doesn't work out, then it just passes. So that's the whole concept of this. If we wanted it to do something else, we'll put it there, but for accept, we don't want it to do anything else. So now that we've created that, the next function we're creating is send email. Now we'll say def send email, send underscore mail, send underscore email, and this is going to take as input, it's going to take a receiver because we need to give it who is receiving the email. We also need to give it the subject. And after that, we also need to give it the message itself. So what we're sending, the information we're sending. Now we'll say server is equal to SMT because this is our server SMTP lib.sm, and a server is just the middleman. So that's basically, if you want to do something, a server is the middleman that takes it from point A to point B. And here we'll put as a string, we'll say smtp dot gmail because we're using gmail.com, and then we'll say 587. Now after this, we'll say server dot start. Now we're going to say server dot start TLS. So basically just for the server to start. Now is the time we actually put our information. So this is where you have to, and I will put it as a comment, put your email username. I think it's called email username and your password, or email, no, not email username, your email address and password. So you are the sender. So this is the sender's email address so that our program knows what email address is sending the information. Now, when we do that, we'll just say server.login. So it's going to log into your email address. Yep, the Python is going to log into your email address. And you can see that this is why we imported right here email password and email name. So I should have changed that to email address, but I think you get what I mean. So your email name and then your email password. So now, and you could easily also put that hard coded, but in our case, we're doing it like this. And now that we've done that, the next thing we'll say email is equal to email message. So we're going to use the module we imported, which is this right here, email message. Now that we've done that, we need to create a structure. And the way the structure of our email is, we'll have a from, we'll have a to, we'll have an object, and then we'll have the message itself. So we need to say email, and then we put right here from, so who the email is from. We set that equal to sender underscore email. And after that, we'll do the same thing, email dot, and this is to. Okay, no dot actually, just email square bracket to. And we'll set that equal to receiver because that's the receiver of the email. And then we also have email square bracket subject. Because if you write in the email, this is the whole structure you follow. You write normally you don't have to write from because you're in your email, so it does that for you. But you need to write to, you need to give a subject, and then you need to write the message itself. So in the same way, we need to give Python, we need to give this program all that information so it can actually automate that for us. And say it's equal to subject. Now we'll say email dot set, and we're setting content because this is the content of the email, and the content is going to be message. Now we'll say server dot send email, or send message, not email. and as its input, we'll say, what are we sending the email? Now that we have that, the next thing we need to do is we need to create, and in this case, I'm going to create a bunch of email lists and we'll give them names. So it could be Fred has a certain email, and then Naomi has another email. It could be Romeo has another email. So you understand, we're going to have people with their email addresses, their name and their email addresses. So we'll create an email list. So when our program answers us, we just tell the program the name of the person, and automatically the program knows the email address to send it to. So that's what we're doing right here. You can see right here, I have the email list in a notepad right here, just to save a little bit of time because there's no point you seeing me actually write all that. And then I just paste it right here. So this is our email list. We have daily, we have Python. This is the email we're going to actually send it to. Python every second. I just created the email address. So yeah, this is the email address we're sending it to. And yeah, so now we have our email list. And we can choose whatever email we have in this list. And all we need to do is just call this name, and then the program will know that this name is equal to this email address, so it will send it to this email address. So that's the whole purpose and the whole style behind all that. Now that we have that, what we need to do next is we need to create a function that's going to get the email info from us. So the program is going to ask us questions like, oh, where do you want to send the email to? We'll tell it. Who do you want to send it to? What is the subject? And also, what is the content of your email? And then the program will also tell us, hey, lazy ass, I've sent you your email, and I wish I could actually send you to do other stuff for me. So you understand, it's going to be that whole concept, and yeah, it's going to be very interactive. And that's why I love Python so much, is that you can build cool things with it like this. So we'll create a function, we'll call it get underscore email underscore info. Yeah, so now we've created our method, and now you can see we can use talk because we created a talk right here. So that's why I see we needed to create talk. So now we have talk. Now we're using the function inside this function to create talk, and now we can say, who do you want to send this message to? Who do you want to send this message to? Who do you want to send this message to, or this email to? And when it does that, what it needs to do next is it's going to take a name, and we said that name is going to be equal to get info. And you know that we created get info right here. So right here is going to get the info, and that's the whole purpose of creating this right here. So right now you see it gets the info. So now it knows that, okay, the name of the person, and it knows where to go. It's right here to this email list right here. Yeah, you can see that this get info function right here, we're getting all the information from our voice. So whenever we speak, this function gets the information. And then when we get that information, we save that information into this variable called name. And what we do next is with name is that we actually check to see, we say receiver is equal to, did I spell receiver right? Yeah, we'll say receiver is equal to email list that we have around here. You can see the email list, and then we do like this name. And you know what, I'm also going to print receiver so we can see in text form the email we're sending it to. After we do that, we create another talk. So I'm just going to copy this, and what it's going to say is what is the subject of your message. What is the subject of your mail? Or let's just put email. then we do the same thing, but in this case, instead of name, it's going to be subject. Now that we have subject, what we do next is we talk again. We say, tell me the text, tell me the message, and tell me the message you want to send in your email. Yeah, so it's going to do the same thing called the get info. And now that we have the message, all we need to do is we say send mail, and then it's going to send receiver, subject, and also the message. And after that, we're just going to add some text so that you know that your message has been sent. You can also print right here, sending, put as a string, sending message, or sending email. So now what we can say right here is, we'll say, hey lazy ass, your email has been sent. And then this robot or this computer likes talking a lot. It says, I wish I could send you, I wish I could program you to do things for me. I wish I could program you to do things for me too. And after that, the computer is still going to ask. So say talk right here. It's going to ask, do you want, so do you want to send more emails? So ask that question so we know. And if it wants to send those email, all we need to do is we'll say send, but we need to get the info. So we'll say send email, and whatever the person, no, I will say send more, and whatever the person actually says, so send more is get info, like we did for the message and the subject. So what we're going to check is we'll use this if statement. We'll say if it's a yes. So if I say yes, then send more. If I say yes, if there's any yes in send more, so make sure you don't say anything with yes. The moment you say yes, it's gonna think you actually want to send another email. But if there's yes, then all we need to do is we'll say get email info. So we call the function again, call this function again. So it's almost like a recursive kind of thing. So we're calling the function inside the function, but only on the scenario where you say yes. If you say no, what is going to happen is that the program will be over. Or we could also make it talk, and it's going to say goodbye lazy ass. Yeah, so it's going to say goodbye lazy ass. So you see that, and that's practically it. All we need to do now is we need to call this function. So we'll call it, we'll say get email info, because you can't, if you make a function and you don't call it, it doesn't work. So now we have our program ready and we can actually send email messages. Now look guys, I'm going to run this and we'll actually see our program in action. Now, so let's actually run the program and we'll say main.py Python, learning Python. This is the best time to learn Python because it's a great programming language, very easy and very user friendly. No, no. Yeah, so we can see that it's actually working out well. I just changed this to okay. Goodbye, lazy ass. But you can see it's working out well. And yeah, guys, that's it for this tutorial. Hopefully you learned, you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, check your email, and for sure you'll see that we sent it and it actually worked out. If it didn't, put it down in the description below and for sure I'll help you out. But yeah, that's it from me and I'll see you all in the next video.